You know, normally when I'm fishing, I like to use a spinning outfit, but today Roger and I decided to go with the bait casting outfits. The main reason, because we were target casting to trees, casting to specific weed clumps. And the advantage with the bait caster, in addition to having more line capacity, because bait casters tend to have larger spools, is that you control where the lure is going to hit the water by applying a little bit of pressure on the spool with your thumb. If you don't do that, with some bait casters, you actually get something called a backlash, where the lure hits the water and the spool keeps turning. But I found with these new Adolphus reels that that doesn't happen. It's very rare. Now, Roger, these are some of the newer rods, the split grip bait casters, and one thing that I really like about them, we're both using two-piece bait casting outfits.
Yeah, that's interesting that in Canada, we're probably 90% two-piece. The United States is 90% one-piece.
Well, I think it's practical for small vehicles or
exactly.
just to pack them down. Now, you'll also notice that the two outfits are very similar, but the reels have the handles on the opposite side. So today I was primarily using a bait caster with the handle on the left-hand side. Roger was using the traditional handle on the right-hand side. It's really a personal preference thing, I think.
I guess it's the way you grow up. It's like with writing with the left or right hand. Once you start with it, that's the way you stay, and it feels funny if you go the other way.
Yeah, I agree. Now, the lines that we were using, if you look on the spools, you'll see that it's not clear monofilament. That's because we're using braided line, and we've chosen to go with 30-pound braid. And we have a couple of different types of braid that we've been using. One is the titanium braid, and if you look in the side of the spool, you can see that it's like a green color. And the other one is a suffix. It's right here, and I'll just turn it. Since it's in a plastic container, you can see right through it, and you can also see a little bit of a sample line. This one is a little bit brighter green. Now, the big thing about the braided line is that it's literally no stretch. If it is any stretch, it's minimal, less than 1%, I think. And also, the diameter is very low. So both of these lines are 30-pound test, but the diameter is only 8-pound monofilament diameter. Now, in addition to using the braid, we also went with the fluorocarbon leaders.
Well, fluorocarbon has been around for a little while now, and its main claim to fame is that it's virtually invisible in the water to the fish. And it's a little harder, so it withstands sharp teeth and things like this. So it's great, it's useful to put on the end of braided line to have a couple of feet of hard fluorocarbon as a leader.
Yeah, and again we've gone with two. One is the Rapala one in 12-pound test, and the other one is a Suffix in 12-pound test. And you can see even on the spool that it looks white, but really it's clear. And on both our rods, if you look at Roger's rod and my rod, we have our bait down here, and then the fluorocarbon, and in this case, mine is about maybe 2 feet long. Yours is probably the same. Yeah, look, you almost matched. And the connection that we've used, I don't know if you're going to see it. I want to explain how to do it. But the connection, I call it an inline connection. So what we've done is we've actually melted the end of the fluorocarbon so that you almost get like a drop effect. And it's as hard as the main fluorocarbon. And then we've taken our braid and we've tied what most people would call a nail knot. I like to call it a perfect snell. And then we've pulled it tight and right up to that little piece that we've melted at the end. It's like a little teardrop. There's no way that that's going to come off. The more you pull, the tighter that knot gets. And it's really nice because it's uniform. You can hardly feel the knot. You can actually reel that knot right into your tip guide, and it still allows you to cast very well. So I think, Roger, for anybody that likes to do target casting, I mean trolling, and especially fishing for bass, you know, using spinner baits and soft plastic, these two outfits are ideal, whether it's the Adolphus or the TS2.
They're perfect. And one of the other great things that I'd like to mention on a bait casting reel versus a spinning reel is that when you're using jigs or baits that you're working, you get a lot of slack line to pick up.
I agree.
And a spinning reel doesn't always pick up correctly. You get the annoying loops that when you cast next time, you got to hang.
You get a tangle.
But you don't get that here.
No, they're excellent. Okay, Roger, let's see if the walleye are biting.
Let's go for it.
Okay. Now, when was the last time you were walleye fishing, Roger?
With you?
No, even on yourself. I know you travel a lot. Have you been up north at all, walleye fishing, or no?
I was up there a couple of weeks ago in northwest Ontario.
Good. Any time to fish?
We had a few fish, mostly bass actually. We didn't do a lot of fishing, but...
Did you have any shore lunches or no?
Oh yeah, there's a story for you. No, I was in the Northwest Territories fishing in Great Slave.
Yes.
And you know, you hear the stories all the time about pike and they're not good.
Yes.
But believe me, when they're in cold water, they are delicious.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I can't tell the difference between a walleye and a pike if they come out of the same waters, and especially if they've been cleaned properly.
Exactly.
Now, are you ready with that net? It's a good sized walleye.
That's a nice fish down there.
You're all over it. I can see, okay, I'm going to lift it up gently. I don't know if he's done yet because they've got so much power. Oh boy. This is where you got to take it easy. I let off on the drag again.
Rush.
I really like how flexible the tips of these rods are. Enough spine to set the hook. You heard that drag go. Okay, ready? I'm going to try lifting it right up. Ready? Ready? Okay, perfect. Okay, settle down. Settle down. Yeah, he's trying to jump out of the net.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, now, see if I can grab him on the back side. Did any of the hooks go into the net? Hold on. One is in there. Perfect. The lure is still in there. I'm going to turn him around, and I'm going to tell the viewers about this lure, because this is a very interesting lure. Was this designed by a tournament fisherman, or just the input?
You may have heard the name David Fritz.
Yes, he's very famous in the bass tour in the States.
But he's the fellow that developed this with us.
Yeah.
And he came out with a series that run anywhere from 2 to 14 feet deep.
Okay, if you hold that, I'm going to put the fish in the live well. I'm guessing he's about 23 inches, but look at how yellow he is.
Yeah,
normally they're much more silver in color. I want to tell him all about it, maybe while I measure it. Now here on the Bay of Quinte, the limit is 4 walleye a person. You can see I'm squeezing the tail with my left hand and I'm putting the head of the fish up. Roger, this fish is 22 inches. You're allowed to keep 4 walleyes here under 25 inches. Out of the 4, 1 can be over 25. But if we get any big ones, we're going to throw them back.
We haven't got quite that far.
This is actually,
this is perfect.
Look at how wide his shoulders are.
Well, there's a lot of meat in there.
Now, do you have a good fillet knife to clean these up?
I could probably find one
somewhere, scrounge one up. Okay, let me put him in here. And that live well, hey, look at this. This is so nice. You know, we're going to take some photos later. These fish are beautiful. We've got 3 nice walleye in there.
Canadian Sport Fishing has been brought to you by Rapala Premium Fishing Gear, crafted from experience. Yamaha on the water. This is my Yamaha. What kind of Yamaha are you? Dickies, a legend in work since 1922. Lucky Strike. More fish fight with a Lucky Strike.